How many protesters does it take to change a light bulb? Don't be silly. Trump and Biden protesters can't change anything. Well, we were all blocking a highway as a protest and got arrested for human trafficking. I saw a giant mouse, so I found my baseball bat and beat it to death. Now I have a lifetime ban from Disneyland. What was I going to tell you about this morning? Oh, I was having a sauna there with a friend of mine, Barry O'Keefe, and various and sundry people. A guy named Joe, a guy named Bill, a lady named Jane. And we were just reminiscing down memory lane. And I was thinking about one of the first jobs that I had when I got out of college. I was teaching 6th grade and coaching basketball out in Kentucky. And when I arrived on the scene, the principal called me in the office and he said, "You see this here razor strap?" It was one of those big wide things that you sharpen a single-edged razor on, that like barbers have hanging from the chair. He said, "If anybody gets out of line, you just send them to me and this will straighten them out." Now, then after that, I had me a job in Newark, New Jersey. That was right after the riots, and a gorgeous school. It had been a Jewish neighborhood in Newark, New Jersey, and there was parts of Newark, New Jersey that were absolutely fantastic. As a matter of fact, my family came from Newark, New Jersey. Started out in Hoboken, wound up in Newark, New Jersey, and then we wound up in Bloomfield, a factory town. Well, right after the riots, a lot of people moved out of Newark, New Jersey. The neighborhoods didn't seem safe. That was back in the late 60s, early 70s. I wound up as a job as an art teacher in a junior high school. I really loved that job. It was a gorgeous building, absolutely spectacularly gorgeous. Of course, things had changed after the riots, and they only opened the bathrooms at lunchtime, which forced the students who couldn't leave the building to go on the upper landings and use them as laboratories. I remember one time I was on hall duty. There I was on hall duty, standing at one of the doors, make sure nobody odd came in, and in came a young fellow with a pistol. .38 special. Had it pointed right at me, and I said to him, "You know, if you turn around and go out that door," I didn't see a thing. Didn't see a thing. I'll never say a word. He looked at me, turned around and left. I'm a man of my word. I've worked a lot of jobs and I've quit a lot of jobs, been fired a few times, but what can I tell you? It's all part of living in a capitalist society. I ain't saying capitalism's bad, and I ain't saying communism's bad, and I ain't saying socialism's bad, and I ain't saying living in an empire is terrible, and I ain't saying living anywhere is terrible. Well, I live in a shack on top of a mountain. It's an old schoolhouse, an old one-room schoolhouse, and I feel like I'm learning all the time. Trying to do something here. I used to be able to do this. How do you do that, Hairman? I don't know. Sometimes I got more than one brain cell to rub together, but I guess I killed one last night. You know, baseball season's coming up soon, and I'm creating a new position for baseball, left out. Anyway, baseball should be illegal. I mean, really, hit and run and stolen bases. And I would never date a baseball player anyway, because they're out of my league. I think the first baseball game is actually being played maybe today over in South Korea. Why isn't it North Korea? Wouldn't it be great if we sent our teams over to North Korea and made some friends instead of enemies? Why do we treat countries as enemies? Oh, because it always winds up, or usually winds up, in a war. And you know what war is good for? War is good for countries looking to get out of debt, because you can put a lot of money in circulation, you can get the factories running, you can spread the money around to the politicians. There can be graft and corruption, and that's what war is good for. War is good for a lot of things. Some people say that war is like that song, good for absolutely nothing. No, 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 I protest. War is good for saving a fallen economy. It's happened a million times. You start a war, it takes the emphasis off the people, takes their emphasis and puts it somewhere else. It makes them, next thing you know, to be riding around with flags flying off their cars. Flags representing, hey, we're killing people in other countries so we can be prosperous here today. War, what is it good for? We got a couple wars going on right now that we're supporting. What's wrong with peace? Remember John Lennon? Give peace a chance. Ain't never gonna happen in this system. It's been going on for thousands and thousands of years, and I got a feeling that maybe even long before the pyramids, maybe there was an atomic type explosion that leveled everything, because in some parts of the world they find sand that's turned to glass. But I suppose that could happen with a big fire, I don't know. Or what about the Baghdad battery? I wonder if the Egyptians just arrived on the scene and the pyramids were already there. Or maybe they weren't. Fact or fiction? I don't know. I hear so many things. It goes in one ear and out the other. And a big shout out to all the people. By the way, it was snowing like the blazes up on the mountain last night and today, but it's that kind of snow in the spring where it don't accumulate to a whole lot. But it was blowing. There was snow devils and dust devils, and it was like a blizzard sometime coming down, and there was ice and frost all over the windshield and snow-covered roads. And a big shout out to Barry O'Keefe, and a big shout out to all the people that are going skiing today, and a big shout out to all the people who have names that begin with R, like Roberta and Rebecca and Robert and oh, well, what do I know? That's all I know, so let's get on with the shoe-do.